I'm here at Daiho-ji with my friend Etsuo Yoshida. We had a video conversation about 20 years ago in 1998. So now we've got digital technology and YouTube and so many wonderful things. I wanted to meet with him again and find out about his life now. And so the first question I had is about, you've been retired from teaching English now for 15 or 20 years, is it?
Let's see. I retired the 11th of Heisei, and it is
so
the
1999, is that right?
Yeah, just about that time.
So yeah, about 20 years. So it's been quite a while. And
yeah,
at that time you were full-time teacher at a high school, but also helping your father with the temple activities. But now, since leaving high school work, it's full-time as a priest.
Mm-hmm. So I continued practicing or using English in terms of listening.
Okay.
But when it comes to speaking, I don't have much time to speak English.
Yeah.
After I retired. So I'm not really sure if I can speak fluently as I want.
That's all right. But since that time, many things have happened during the last 20 years in Japan's history and your family history. Now one of your sons is married, and you've got grandkids.
Yes.
So you're at a different point in your life. So I'm just interested in how you see the world now that you're no longer middle age. You're approaching older age. What kind of things do you think about?
Well, interesting thing about how you feel about yourself, whether I grew aged or not, I really don't feel like I'm different.
Okay.
But the fact of the matter is, I just cannot compare. One thing is that my memory is not that strong.
Yeah.
I think I'm not really confident about my memory.
Okay.
It's my weak point, really, compared to other people.
Yeah.
But what I feel and what I think is different from when I was, say, 20 years ago or so, or a lot.
Even before that.
Even before that.
Yeah.
In fact, I feel more comfortable than when I was young. Actually. But the truth of the matter is, there's ups and downs in my life.
Yeah.
Especially after I retired.
Okay.
Mm.
So your father has died. It's been a few years. Your mother's still living. Now you've got your son who's also following in your footsteps to be a priest. He's married. He lives here, and you've got the 2 grandkids right now.
Right. Yes.
So now you can look back at your life. So many things have happened. History has changed. Society's changed. Technology's changed. I know you do a lot with computers, and you've got a smartphone and everything. But you're part of the generation that is the Koreika Shakai, the aging generation. So,
it is indeed.
And many of the people that you serve, they're the parishioners. Also, they're older people. So, do you look at life's experience with different eyes? Do you think about it for many do you have a long view now compared to only when you were a young man, you were very active, you're skiing, you're doing so many things, but now you have more time to reflect or think or...
Naturally, I have more time to think about the life in a longer distance. When I was young, maybe it is like anyone else, but what I was doing that just dealing with what I have to do.
Yeah.
I have to deal with.
Just to survive, to get a paycheck.
Especially when you are employed.
Yeah.
There's always some job which is my requirement to fulfill, and there's always a couple of things that I have to deal with. Well, actually, I still have a little thing to do, but still, taking care of those things. What should I say? That consists the interest of my life when I was young. So I every day was like that. Just wake up in the morning and then
Go to work.
Go to work and do what I was required to do, and fulfilling that was enough at that time. Now that I think of it, or in a way it was satisfactory, because by doing so I'm contributing to the society, and probably I do a better job than other people than I might have promoted, in a higher position in the system. But it's not like that anymore now, because I'm not required by any. Well, I still have some requirement, some job that I have to do, but it's different.
So when you were young, you have certain things you worry about, or certain things you want to buy, places to go, some kind of dreams, some plans. But now, as you get older, maybe those things are not so important. You look at different things to think about, or to worry about, or to dream about.
Yeah, that's right. Hobbies. People have hobbies, or what should I say? When I was young, it was like I have a space to escape, so to speak.
Yeah.
And that was my hobby. My job was also. I certainly thought that I contribute to the society by working.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it was like that.
A kind
it's
of escape.
Kind of escape. You engage in it, and then you tend to ignore other things that I was supposed to do, like family, for example. Of course, I was not such a bad family guy, but I did what I was expected to do to a certain extent.
Right.
Above average, maybe.
Okay.
But I was also, community service, for example.
Right.
I didn't serve there because I was busy. I thought I was busy.
Yeah.
But now that I think of it, it's in a way escaping into the world of job. And so I was very interested in skiing, but skiing was another escape.
So many escapes. But at this point in your life, you don't feel like you need to escape? You feel like your life is where it's supposed to be?
Well, truth of the matter is there's no place to escape anymore. I still have a lot of job to do, but I really don't need place to escape anymore. And at the age of 68, I don't think I have time to escape anymore.
Oh, I see.
So like I would try to do what I can do.
Sure.
At the moment, at what I have right now. People say that traveling. Some people like to travel around the world, around Japan, everywhere else.
Yeah.
And it appears to me they're escaping from the real world, or the world or life that they have at their place.
Instead of facing the big questions of who am I, what is my world like, why am I here, something like that. Instead, they just look for some distraction or some as you call it, escape?
I remember just to take a glimpse of a TV 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 program called The Great Escape.
Oh,
Have you seen that?
isn't that a history, kind of escaping from a prison or something?
No,
Or?
no, it's just a traveling and
Okay.
showing around the world.
Okay.
So, my friend, for example, there are many, including my brother, they like to travel a lot, but it appears to me that they're just trying. Well, I shouldn't be too harsh on them. There's nothing bad about having fun. So having fun and escape is something
Mixed together.
Mixed together.
Yeah.
Maybe.
And they say travel gives you new eyes, or you can make your own point of view wider. You can sometimes gain something.
Well, I don't know if, but just by traveling other places and observing things, I wonder if that helps widening your view or your thinking.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't travel a lot, but even if I want to, I cannot. And that's one very important reason. That's not available for me.
Too many responsibilities at the temple.
Exactly, and community and everything else. But I have time to clean the temple yard.
To weed the gardens. Yeah.
And everything. But interesting thing is that even the act of weeding, you can, I don't do that to widen my view, but if you observe very, what should I say, ordinary, a very common weed as a life, you just ignore. But by weeding, you
pay attention.
Oh. Interesting thing is that every piece of weed has its own shape, its own growth,
its own history.
Its own history.
Yeah.
Just like human beings has a difference. So one single weed has that. When to bloom, when to fruit, and
eventually die.
And the color is could be different depending upon which location the seed started growing. Nutrition has something to do with how it grows. So by staying here and observing small things, paying attention to those things, I don't know which is widening your view. Maybe both would be the ideal, but I just cannot have time for that.
Well, one difference, there are many differences, but one difference between you and your brother is now you were trained and now you're doing the temple work and now full-time temple work, he's not. And compared to other people, your classmates and so on, because of all the temple experience, you meet different people, you spend your time different ways, you spend your money different ways, you have different dreams maybe. You can see some side of people when they are in grief, when they have a funeral, or happy times, when you counsel them and so on. So do you think that has changed your point of view, all of these experiences and responsibilities?
Yes, you could say that. I think so.
Like the example of pulling the weed from the ground. Do you think another person your age would feel that way, or is it because of you think about life and death differently?
Interesting thing about the weeding is that many people, my acquaintance, friends, and when they started talking about weeding, we can share the interest. So it might have something to do with aging.
Okay.
Some people, not all people, but some people develops interest in veg, uh, vegetation, plants. When I was young, I was reading was one of my, what should I say, hate.
Oh, one of the things you hated the most.
Especially when I was in school.
Yeah.
And I have to, in Japan, cleaning the schoolyard is one part of the education.
Yeah, it's required.
Required. And reading itself is, it's okay, but having people do that is, I have to tell students to read and clean the ground.
Yeah,
And,
so you are forced to.
Forced, yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
that changes the meaning.
So when I was young, reading was not my interest, but now somehow, not every people are like that, but somehow I developed a lot of my interest in trees, plants, flowers, and vegetation. Something that set foot on the ground, so to speak, cannot move freely. I grew interested in that, and as I told you, not all the people in my generation feel the same way, but there are quite a number of people like that.
So part of the process of aging is you move less freely and you have different dreams and goals and responsibilities and so on. So do you think this is universal? In other words, for your grandparents, for your parents, for your great-great-great-grandparents, as they grew older, do you think they also changed in the same way you were changing?
I guess so, because my grandmother was like that. She was always weeding, cleaning the temple garden. And I don't mind that.
So then, not thinking of the past but also the future, do you think your son or your grandchildren also, as they get older, will also take an interest in the little things like this?
I have no idea about that.
You can't predict that?
I guess, but that kind of interest is not something to be forced.
Right.
You cannot force people to like reading. Liking, for example, as a matter of fact, cannot be forced, you know.
Yeah, it's a contradiction to force something, yeah. Well, I wanted to just finish up by asking more again about the future. If you have any feelings, predictions, or worries about the next generation, because there's so many changes in your generation to your children's or grandchildren's generation.
Yeah, one thing I always it's not like feeling in my mind, but one is not a worry, but it's some consideration that stays in my mind all the time, that the balance of spiritual being of ourselves and material or physical part of ourselves. Physical meaning material and of the body.
Body, yeah.
And
do you think these things are breaking apart? They're not connected, or?
The relation between them is something to think about. And Buddhism, I'm a Buddhist monk, and the Buddhism has a quite important key notion about the relationship between the two. And in my opinion, many people forget the importance of the balance of the two. Spiritual. Back when, say, 100 years ago, it was like people's interest tend to be more on spiritual, probably because you cannot have it's not like it's, even if you want to live long, there are so many factors that
uncertainties.
Uncertainties, famine, natural disaster and war, and people live less. I mean, in terms of length.
Yeah.
And food and other material abundance is not available. And of course, their interest is living itself, having food and everything. ちょっと待って。